Hello, my wonderful, amazing artist. It's me, Miss Abby, and today I decided to do a combination story time and art class. So today we're going to read a book about Pezzintino and make art inspired by Pezzintino. Let's get into it. This book, Pezzintino, is by Leo Leone. Lots and lots of squares that make up the characters. Leo Leone wrote Pezzintino. Pezzintino is very fun to say. His name was Pezzintino, and all the others were big into daring and wonderful things. He was small and surely must be a little piece of somebody else, he thought. He often wondered whose little piece he could be, and one day he decided to find out. "Excuse me," he asked the one who runs. "Perhaps I'm your little piece. How could I possibly run if I had a piece missing?" The one who runs said. "Am I your little piece?" He asked the strong one. "How could I be strong if I had a piece missing?" And then the swimming one came up to the surface, and Pezzintino asked him to. "How could I swim if I had a piece missing?" He answered, the swimming one, and dove back into the deep, deep water. "You, up there!" shouted Pezzintino towards the mountain climber. "Am I a little piece of yours?" The one on the mountain laughed. "Do you think I could climb so high if I had a piece missing?" Pezzintino asked the flying one too, but the answer was always just the same. Finally, Pezzintino went to the wise one who lives in a cave. "Wise one, am I a little piece of yours?" "No." "I must be someone's little piece," said Pezzintino. "How can I find out?" "Go to the island of Wham," said the wise one. Early the next morning, Pezzintino took off on his little boat. After a rough trip on the high sea, he arrived wet on the island of Wham. How strange! The island was nothing but heaps of pebbles, not a tree or a blade of grass, and above all, not a single living creature. Pezzintino climbed up and down until, finally exhausted, he tripped and tumbled down and broke into lots of little pieces. The wise one had been right all along. Pezzintino now knew that he, just like all the others, was made of little tiny pieces. He picked himself up, and when he was sure there was not a single piece missing, he ran back to his boat. He rode all night to get home as fast as he could. All his friends were waiting for him. "I am myself," he shouted with joy. His friends didn't quite understand what he was saying, but Pezzintino seemed happy, so they seemed happy too. The end. Okay, so you have a choice on what materials you use to create a Pezzintino-inspired creature. You can use your oil pastels and a pencil if you want. You can use markers. Or you can use collage. I have a glue stick, a scissor, and this is a piece of paper that is actually the wrapper of a candy bar that I thought was pretty. And so I'm being resourceful here. But you can also use construction paper if you have any colorful paper. And a glue and a scissor if you want. Okay, so with great scissors come great responsibilities. I have the Art Kit scissors, and these are great for cutting paper. They are not great at cutting hair or clothing. Use different kinds of scissors for that, or your fingernails. Again, different scissors. These are best at cutting paper. And that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to cut, and I'm going to create what shape? Squares. Yeah, that's right. We're going to create squares. But first I'm going to cut long, skinny strips from my cardboard. And I'm working very carefully, and I'm keeping my eye right where the scissor is cutting the paper. I'm not looking around at, I don't know, what my cat is doing or what my brother's doing, right? Just looking. Ta-da! So I have a lot of squares now cut out. And I'm ready to glue them on to create some kind of creature inspired by Leoleone's Pezzintino. And I want to show you the glue stick. Now with the glue stick we have the sticky side and the crank side. This part twists to make it taller. Now this is way too high. It's way too high. And if I use this it would break or it would make a big blobbery mess. And so I'm going to crank it down a little bit. And oop, now it's too low. See that? You can't glue anything using that. You want it to be just a little bit sticking up. Just a little bit. And we're going to put the cap somewhere safe so it doesn't roll off the table. And you're going to do a little swirl of glue. And okay, so here's my collage Pezzintino inspired animal. And I was thinking about like a goofy dog. And I used my scissors and my glue stick and some material I found in the recycling. And one thing I want to show you is a trick. If you want to know if you used enough glue, you can do what I call the upside down test. So I just glued all of this down, and I want to make sure I glued it on well. So I'm going to hold it upside down and shake it just a little bit. And if anything comes off or is sticking out, that's telling me that I need a little bit more glue and that I can fix it and make it better. So here are two different ways of creating Pezzintino inspired art that involves using that involves using squares to create an amazing picture. Bye. Have fun making art.